Hey, girl. Hey.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate the death of comedy. Oof,
Oh,
boy, oh boy,
Lord.
oh boy,
Well,
oh
we'll get
boy.
to that in a little bit. So how are you, girl?
Mm.
What's new with you?
I'm good. I'm good. Had a nice weekend so
Did you? What
far.
all did you do?
I went to go see David Sedaris yesterday. So he
Oh,
had a
North
reading.
Carolina's own.
I know, right? And I love it. We go every time he comes
I
here
have
because
never
it's like
seen him.
he's my favorite author, like my
Yeah,
favorite modern author.
yeah.
And
So I've
it
got a
was
question. Do you
funny.
do you prefer to read his books or do you prefer to listen to his books?
Um, it's so funny because he has his books are like in two different styles now, right? So he
Okay.
has some that are like memoir style,
Yeah.
and he has some now that he's been doing that are like collections of diary
Yeah. Yeah.
entries.
Yeah.
So he has like two volumes of those. I actually like I like reading the diary entry ones and
Okay.
listening to the memoir
Okay.
ones.
I didn't mean to
Um,
interrupt you. Keep going on with your
no,
story.
no, yeah, because on the memoir ones, it's fun because the diary entries are obviously they're like legit diary entries,
Mm-hmm.
and but when he does the memoir ones, because he likes to do the voices of like all of his different family members and
Yes.
people like that, so it's always perfect for me when I listen to those, and it was great because we discovered something last night that was really quite funny, in that he and his husband are also from North Carolina and Kentucky, which we were both like, that's
Oh.
unusual.
Oh. Well, I mean, I knew David Sedaris was from North Carolina.
Yeah, his husband's from Kentucky. I was like,
Oh.
what a funny little parallel.
Did
Um,
you did you ever watch BoJack Horseman?
yes.
Okay, I'm just now catching up with
Oh,
the last season. I'm 3 episodes. Just let that part go. But the interesting thing about BoJack Horseman is you actually get to hear Amy Sedaris's accent for real when she goes back to Eden, North Carolina.
yep.
Like when it pans back to Princess Carolyn as a kid, you get to hear Amy Sedaris with the Oz to God Southern accent. I was like, holy shit, that's her real voice.
Yeah.
A thing that
Yeah.
nobody's heard for years.
Yeah. I love it. It's really funny because so David Sedaris actually he used to live in Paris for a while, for a
Yeah.
good
Oh
long
yeah.
while.
Yeah.
And but it's so cute because like now he's back in New York, so he and his sister hang out all the time, and I think it's the
Oh.
cutest thing. And so one of the people, because he always does a Q&A, they said, "What was the when was the last shopping trip with you and Amy?" He was like, "Oh, well, we took this. Oh, I can't remember the author's name. He's like, we took this author, blah, blah, blah." He's like, and he was really up for it, like he didn't care about the prices, he didn't care about anything, and it was just so funny because I just picture the two of them,
Mm-hmm.
just like on a trip. And another person asked, it was the weirdest question. Like she phrased it in the strangest way, like, in your family, who is the funniest sibling, right? Because he has like five. There's five
Yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
and he was like, well, he was very diplomatic. He's like, well, we're all funny in different ways, and he like
Mm-hmm.
talks about his sister Gretchen and people like that, and like and then the lady was like, I noticed you didn't mention yourself or Amy, and then he was like, well, he said that's because Amy is like a 10 and the rest of us are like much lower than that. And and then the lady was like, yeah, Amy's the funniest. And then he said, then why the fuck did you ask?
So there was a store in Raleigh. It's not there anymore. It was like a weird craft store,
Hmm.
and like in one of Amy Sedaris's craft things, she did like this macrame wall thing. They
Yes.
had it hanging up there.
Of course they
Of
did.
course they did. North Carolina's own, like
I mean, it's like
Raleigh's
they are
own.
it's just so funny to me because they are like they to me are the exact kind of thing that happens when you take an outside North Carolina culture and plop it inside of North
Yes,
Carolina, right?
yes,
Like,
absolutely.
like, like my family, right? It makes a very weird kid. because
Uh-huh.
there's just like this dichotomy that's like always
Uh-huh.
pulling you in these two
I
different
mean,
directions.
I'm not as much me, but a little bit me because
Oh, you too.
my grandmother is
You
a
too.
huge influence on my life. So
And she's super German. And I mean, like,
yeah, like
think about
German.
that, right? Like,
Yeah.
the first person, somebody like talks about German food, and I'm like, oh, I used to get great German food. And they look at me like, what are you talking about? I think, oh, my best friend's grandmother's German, and she used to make us food when we went to her house.
Yeah.
And they just look at me like,
Yeah.
what? I thought you grew up
Yeah.
in North Carolina. I was like, yeah, but she moved to North
Yes.
Carolina from Germany.
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes. And
People do
hated
that.
it. She used to threaten to leave the kids in back in Statesville.
Oh
Dear
my
listeners, so
gosh.
Statesville is the metropolitan area. When you go a little bit farther out, about 5 miles in either direction,
Oh man.
they lived about 5 to 10 miles north of Statesville. And when she moved there in the 1950s, there was nothing. There were dirt farms. So by now, something, dear listeners, you may not know, and you probably won't understand either, is that the soil in Statesville is red clay.
Red clay,
And
man, that got so much of our clothes messed
oh
up.
my God. But I've known people, as soon as they go from South Carolina to North Carolina in the western part of the state, they have to pull over and stop and look at it because they've never seen anything like it, right?
It's
Like it
red.
is,
When we
it
say
is
red, it is
red.
red.
But
Remember the mud pit outside our middle school? It was basically
yes,
like the surface of hell.
yes. We used to play King of the Mountain, whatever it was.
That's right.
Oh God, where you just pushed people out of the. I don't know. I don't even know what we were playing, but we enjoyed it. Or
We loved it. We loved
don't-
getting muddy back then, even though
yeah.
our everybody's parents hated
Oh
playtime
God.
because all of our clothes were messed up.
So my grandfather, when he moved back from Germany, because both my mother and my aunt were born in Germany, and then they moved back. He had some of the family land, which was 7 acres or something crazy like that, and he decided to plant 6 of them,
As you do.
as you do. And in North Carolina, you're gonna plant green beans, corn, and not the good corn. It's like the
No.
horse corn,
Oh, it's so bad.
and that's really not some squash. You get zucchini. You get zucchini out the wazoo, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And cucumbers. But first of all, my grandmother had never seen corn before that you eat. She was like, "Why am I eating this horse feed?" And then he bought snap peas, and she was sitting there, and he had to go to work, so she was snapping peas for days. And finally, she said, "If you ever plant this much again, I want to burn it down and leave." So he didn't. My grandfather was an incredibly tolerant, kind, sweet man.
He was like he really. Oh, I was always intrigued by that. Like, obviously, because I didn't have grandparents, so your grandparents are basically the closest thing I had.
Oh my God.
And so it was always so funny to me because I was always confused by their relationship. I was like, I think they love each other.
They did.
Like,
Especially once they learned they could sleep in separate bedrooms because they didn't have to deal with the snoring.
My aunt and uncle, they had that same thing because he was a truck driver and his sleep schedule was a bit weird and he snored. So I always, when we would go to their house, I always thought it was a strange thing. The older I get, though, the more I'm like, oh, okay,
Yep.
I get it.
I think we were getting ready to have to do that here before I started using a CPAP.
Not the CPAP, honey.
The CPAP, girl, the CPAP.
I'm trying to get my baby bear into a CPAP because they keep talking about the fact that they're, basically stopping breathing and things like that. And I'm like, can you please just go do that?
So Lofta.com, not sponsored, they will do a home sleep study that, you know what, maybe I should reach out to them and see if they'll sponsor us.
Yes.
But it's what I did. It's a little thing you just wear on your wrist, put on your pinky, put on your middle finger, and put a thing over your heart, and you sleep with it on one night, and it tells you if you need CPAP or not.
Oh.
Yeah, because you have to do a sleep study before you get one.
I'm going to send this over to my baby bear.
LOFTA.
I found it.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, Auntie Maim recommended this thing.
Yes, I did. And that's where I got my CPAP. And it works very well. Now it is a struggle bus finding a mask. It took me a while to find a mask that worked for me.
Even in these times where masks are really available?
Girl, I was mask for mask. Speaking of Maim,
that was a fun thing about the. Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of wool, did you know we have a Patreon?
I did not, but I heard a rumor that 2 people discovered that we had a Patreon.
They did. We now have 2 patrons. I always want to call them Patreons, but it's patrons.
Yeah, we have some stuff to record for them soon too.
Yeah, as soon as they reach back out and let me know what they want, I will record it.
Yeah.
I've reached out to them, so they just need to reach back out to us. Dear listeners, you can find our Patreon at patreon.com, Mims and Maim. And, if you become a patron, we'll review one episode of a TV show that, your favorite episode ever. We'll watch it, and we'll record, and we'll talk about it, as we do right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place I'd rather be.
No place I'd rather be. Oh my gosh! So this is not sidebar. It's still relevant. So as you know, our second podcast, which dear listeners, you might have not known, we have a second podcast.
We've got a second podcast, Baking Sugar. That's the one. You Slay Me. You can find it online on Twitter at You Slay Me Pod. It's a Murder Shrimp podcast. Go on.
So that's not my only mystery show that I watch. Mims knows I've been watching a lot of Columbo. A lot of Columbo. So I love Columbo. However, one thing has started to happen. Because it's on Peacock, and I pay for limited commercials. I don't pay for no commercials. I pay for limited commercials. Well, I mean, whatever. I get enough services. I'm fine with that 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, I also pay for the soccer too. So it's.
Oh well, there you go. It's
it comes together. Go on, sorry.
You love your soccer.
So I love the soccers.
Part of the problem now is that there is a commercial, and I can't tell you what the product is for, honestly. But they use the "Don't Care Now, I Want It Now" from Willy Wonka.
Okay.
I hear it, as you can imagine, a lot, because they don't actually have a huge amount of commercials diversity during these things. And so I've started waking up every morning with that song just blaring from my brain, and it has made me question if I really want to keep watching Columbo.
Have you seen the commercial for the cosmetic that has Twiggy in it?
No.
Charlotte something, and it's got a disco
like a Charlotte Tilbury?
Yes. Charlotte Tilbury, yes.
I didn't know that there was a Twiggy commercial.
Oh, there's a Twiggy commercial. Girl, you need to Google that as soon as we are done.
You know how I am about Twiggy.
And a boogie woogie. It's a Baccara, I think the name of the band is. It's a disco band. Yeah, it's.
Oh no.
Yeah, the Twiggy's just, and it goes back to young Twiggy and now Twiggy. Yeah.
Did you do like the de-aging process on her?
No, girl. No. There ain't that much money.
Thank God. Have you heard about that weird Celine Dion movie, right?
Oh, where she's the 50-year-old woman all the way through?
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, she is, but they de-age her.
No, they didn't. I didn't think they de-aged her.
No. Trust me, I did some research on this because somebody posted about going to see it in the theater, and I was like, "Oh, what is this? I didn't never heard of it." Right? He posted the poster of it, and I was like, "What is this?" And they were like, "It's basically an unauthorized biography of Celine Dion
called Malene or Deline or something like that."
But it's literally the same actress, and they use de-aging technology on her, and not that effectively.
Yeah, I don't think it's like de-aging technology. I mean, I think they like miniaturize her.
No.
They actually do.
They de-age her. right? Just like they did that weird Al Pacino, Robert De Niro thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
And apparently, in at the Cannes Film Festival, it got like a 5-minute standing ovation.
Oh, because it was so bad.
But when it got released here, to review the thing I said, it got kind of mixed reviews.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was like, okay.
Speaking of a movie, have you seen any movies in the theater recently?
No.
You need to go see Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh, I know. I want to go see it.
I saw that this weekend.
I do. I want to go see it.
And holy mother of God, you know I'm not a big film person.
You're not?
But Michelle Yeoh will always rock my world. I love that woman. And, like, I would go straight for that woman, but that's beside the point.
That's beside the point.
That's beside the point. You know, we in Discovery, the first season of Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, she was in it. We called her Captain Gorgeous.
Oh, gosh.
What are you doing over there on the side? I don't feel like I have your full attention.
No, you do have my attention. I was just looking the Celine Dion thing up, and just
What's
to
it
make
called?
sure I did. It's called Aline.
Aline.
Her
That's
name,
right.
It says here, her name is not Celine Dion. It's Aline Dieu.
Yes. And girl, speaking of Aline Dieu, do you want to get this episode?
Yeah, let's do it with a.
Oh no, not that one. It's this one. There we go.
I want to know. They said, remember they said that she was gonna get a spin-off show, but I've not heard anything about the spin-off show lately.
Oh, they lie about a lot of stuff.
Well, Strange New Worlds is coming out soon.
I know. I can't wait. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I am too.
But she's probably hard to work with. Not hard to work with, but she's got Crazy Rich Asians 2. She just had this.
I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians 1 yet. Is it good?
It's pretty good. Like it's fun.
Okay.
It's fun,
yeah.
and it's got the woman from Fresh Off the Boat in it, who I like.
Oh, I love her.
And did you see the stripper movie with J-Lo that J-Lo should have gotten an Oscar for?
Should have, for real? Are you being for real?
Like hands down.
What?
Yeah. What is it called? Hustlers. It's so good.
Really?
She should have gotten an Oscar. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Maybe
go
now,
watch it.
Maybe now that she and what is it?
Her and Ben Affleck.
Afflecks are back together, or Batfleck, or whatever you call it, Jackleck. Maybe now that they're back together.
Geely. You call it Geely.
Maybe they'll do like a Geely 2 that'll be like a redemption, and it'll be so good. Like Ben Affleck will write it, and like
Geely 2, the redemption.
Like I just think. I mean, now could that be a really cool story though if you think about it? Like that like Ben takes the storyline, because I mean we clearly know at this point now the guy can write really well movies, and like he just does it himself and makes it amazing.
I think it would be better than this episode. This is season 2, episode 22, Reservations for 8.
I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. And that's Marjorie. Just so you will know, and your children will someday know, is the night the lights went out in Georgia. The lights went out. The lights went out. The lights went out. The lights went out. And that is the night the lights went out in Georgia.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, now you do.
Oh, what a weird episode.
Well, this is the last episode of the season, y'all.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought there was more than
no.
Another
Season 1,
after
season
this.
2, season 3 all have 22 episodes. Season 4 has 28 episodes. Then goes back down to 23 episodes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, you kept saying that the other day, and I was like, but I thought all these have like 23.
No,
episodes.
22.
Thank God. But also, this was the finale episode of the season?
Yes. They'd already been picked up and they're just throwing shit at it. Anyway, we're at Sugarbakers. And Anthony is loading up Suzanne's Louis Vuitton luggage.
Yeah.
He does not realize it's Louis Vuitton.
which I don't know how you could not. It's always plastered all over the luggage.
Yeah. And he says, well, I'll just hand it off to a bunch of young black porters to run alongside the truck.
Which I think at some point Suzanne would have been like, okay.
Well, we found the joke of the episode right there. So
There you
let's
go.
keep
That was
going.
it. That was it. Now, I mean, obviously for us, this episode has significance since they're going skiing in the North Carolina mountains.
Yes. Yes, we haven't gotten to that point yet, but yes.
Oh,
Yes.
whatever. This is a very linear episode, and so I don't trust me. Jumping around is not going to do much for this.
True. Reese walks in and sees all these little cosmetic bags and says, nobody's that ugly. Ha ha ha, women. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, women.
I will say, this episode. Okay, this is the episode for likability for Hal Holbrook, and maybe Hal Holbrook's entire career, because he is not a good person the whole time.
No.
He is not a good person, and the ending does not make up for it.
So they're on their way to North Carolina, as you said. I'm guessing Beach Mountain because they're going skiing. It's either Beach Mountain or Sugar Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or maybe they're stopping by
They're stopping by Tweetsy. They're going to stop by Tweetsy all the way up. Ride that little train around and have that little racism happen to them. Girl,
I had a weird
Santa Land
dream
was
about-
not open last time I was in Cherokee. I was very upset.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to get murdered somewhere else.
It's going to be open next week, and I missed it by a week. I could have gone and fed the emus. Anyway, what were you talking about, Tweetsy, in your dreams?
Oh, I had a weird, very weird dream about the little sky thing that would take you up that was on the side of the mountain. What was the other place?
Maggie Valley.
Yeah, in Maggie.
Yeah.
I had a dream about it last night. Is that weird?
I mean, it's probably because I was talking about Cherokee. Maggie Valley's on the way Cherokee.
It was just so strange. I was like, obviously we drove by enough that it was like blazed in my brain, but it was so strange last night. I was like, why am I dreaming about the mountains of North Carolina?
You know that place is abandoned now, right?
I know.
Like, it was going to be a religious thing. Somebody put 3 crosses up on top of where the ghost town was. Well, girl, she sold it because she went bankrupt, and now there's somebody who's going in and trying to renovate it back to what it was.
Oh, Ghost Town? Oh man,
Yeah.
that would be so cool.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was a hoot.
Why renovate it? Just let it be what it is.
Just like the Wizard of Oz one.
Yeah. Just
Dear
let
listeners,
it
for those of
be.
you that don't know, we have a Wizard of Oz theme park in North Carolina that is defunct. They still hold tours once a year.
Defunct is putting it nicely.
Yeah, it's falling apart. But like the yellow brick road, actually, it looks like Return to Oz. If you ever see that movie, that's what it looks like now because everything's falling apart. Oh. So Reese says, "You women need all this luggage."
It felt like Reese's delivery this entire episode. It felt like he was auditioning for what's his name? The Honeymooners character. Like it felt like he was in an audition for that. I was like, Reese, it's literally like the mid '80s, and you're kind of spouting stuff like you're,
And he's like, "Y'all need to pee before we go because we aren't stopping on the way."
For that 4-hour
And Mary
drive.
Jo's like, "Oh, I guess you know who I am, so I'm gonna go pee."
It's not that long of a drive.
It's what 6 hours, maybe 7.
Here's what's hilarious though. Then we find out in just a couple of minutes that they stopped to eat.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So we're at the mountain resort.
we get there finally.
There's an avalanche, so the ski lifts are down for 24 hours. First avalanche I've ever heard of in North Carolina. We don't get that much snow, y'all.
I was
We
like, wait a
don't.
minute. When they said that, I had to pause it for a minute because I was laughing so much.
Most of the snow in our mountains is man-made, and this is not global warming. It's always been that way. So,
Oh gosh. I thought I paused it for a second because I was like, I just started giggling. I was like, wait a minute. Like, what are you talking
I mean, we have rock slides all the time, but different avalanches.
about? Rock slides are not avalanches. It's very different.
No. Well, Major Dad is there.
I can't help the fact that I'm attracted to that man.
To make,
I do. I don't
are
know
you attracted to him
why.
as Dash? You're just attracted to him in general.
No, as Dash. For
Okay.
some reason, like as Major Dad, nope at all. But for some reason, as Dash, I don't know what it is about that character. But like that moment later when he takes his glasses off and I was just like, this is
It's
doing
because he's
something
a
to me.
troubled chauvinist.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about him. I can't explain it. There's just something about that guy as that character that I just find very dashing. That's not.
Well,
I didn't.
that's
say
why his
that
name's
word.
Dash.
Maybe.
So they're all sitting in the room, and Reese is like, "We look like the family in Grapes of Wrath going skiing with all this luggage." Ha 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 ha.
That's a good movie. It's hard to watch, but it's a good movie. Also, that's a reference of a movie that at that point was over 50 years old.
Are you sure it's not a reference to the book, which is older?
No. He was talking about visually.
Okay.
Because in the movie, there's a part where they're actually traveling and the whole vehicle is just
Okay.
leveled with stuff. You're
So-
so over this episode
I
already.
know, dear listeners, I'm sorry. I am sorry.
You were like that look on your face. You're just like, oh my god, we're still in the early part of the episode.
Well, there's not that much to this episode. Let's keep going. So there's 4 bedrooms in this place.
Yes.
And Julia and Reese talked before. The boys are going to be sleep with the boys. The girls are going to be sleep with girls.
Very gay.
And Mary Jo and Julia decided how they would sleep without consulting anyone else.
Oh, how dare they?
Right. Mary Jo and Julia are going to sleep together. And then probably JD and Reese are going to sleep together, leaving Bill and Dash to sleep together. And Suzanne and Charlene to sleep together.
Bill and Dash sleeping together sounds like trouble. Repressed military man and repressed writer. Yeah.
Well, I mean that there's a line later on. If we keep sleeping together, we may have an announcement soon.
See, that's the other thing, right? Dash is very clever in this episode too, and you know how I am about funny guys.
Well, you just went a little bit too far there. He's clever,
Oh, that was
not necessarily funny.
No, I'm just thinking. You know what I'm clever.
You
I
know,
love
this
clever
is
men.
almost a Ted episode. If Ted had just showed up and maybe some children actors, it's the only way.
Ted
Could you
Shively
just
making
imagine?
his way through the avalanche because he heard that Mary Jo was going to be stuck here. And then he heard about the avalanche and somehow he brought Bert with him.
Yes. So Reese is upset.
Of course.
And Suzanne's like, well, I was just hoping to get a room on my own. Me and my shit in a room.
Yes.
Can we do that?
I mean,
She sounds, I feel seen by that, by the way.
I know you do.
Just throw me
You're like,
and my
I can
shit in a
relate.
room.
I can relate.
And Julia's like, I wanted some semblance of decorum here.
Meaning no hanky panky.
And Reese is like, well, there are 3 to 4 Fidelitous couples here. And Dash just looks at him and goes, 3.
I mean, at least Ash is being honest.
And they're going back and forth for a bit. Like, there's a lot of back and forth about,
Honey,
And-
you shouldn't do that because that's really the majority of the episode.
I know. Reese does say to them, to Julia specifically, I don't know why y'all are acting like the last boatload of virgins out Pompeii. I like that line.
He has a good point. That's like the best point he made the whole time.
Yeah. Now, we can point out right here that Bill is not getting involved in any of this.
Nope.
He and Charlene are just sitting there.
They're just all cooing together. They're so cute.
And Reese is like, they're having sex when not even having it over there because the hormones are just so high.
But she's not wrong. He's not technically not wrong. Was it is this the part where they were like, Bill, you agree, right?
No, that's the end of the
That's
episode.
later. That's the manipulation
Yes,
part.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes. So,
This whole episode just bleeds together.
my God, it's a lot. I feel sorry for Hal Holbrook that Linda Bloodworth Thompson made him say these lines. Like,
Because it seems very not like Hal Holbrook the person. Like,
no,
it really
it
doesn't
does
seem.
not. It does not at
But
all.
he delivers them with that Hal Holbrook intensity.
Uh-huh. Well, it's the next day. The ski lifts have been closed for 36 hours. Suzanne thinks that they need to get a paddy wagon up here and just arrest all of the park rangers for not opening up the thing and not preventing an avalanche.
Because that's what you do when there's an avalanche. You have to arrest the park rangers for preventing Mother Nature from having an avalanche.
Mary Jo was just worried that the avalanche was going to hit a hotel. To which Reese says, I am too, and that the last thing they're going to do is find me and JD together in bed.
Cue first gay joke.
Mary Jo was watching Oprah.
Yeah, oh boy. And they actually use a clip of Oprah.
And we find out right now that JD hates Donahue because of the men bashing.
And now we're about to go into for the two of us, a deep hole.
Yes, girl, but before we go in that hole, have you seen the ads for the new Tucker Carlson War on Men?
You mean the gay porn?
The gayest porn. Dear listeners, Tucker Carlson now has a War on Men, which I believe is going to be the title of this episode. Because we get extra clicks.
Yes.
Hi. In which there's just like a slow montage of half-naked men wrestling and like chopping down wood,
And tanning their balls.
yes, and like it's a somebody posted on Twitter, sponsored by Sean Cody. Which, dear listeners, if you don't know, it's a porn site.
Although they would be a little old for Sean Cody.
It's probably Mustang. That's probably what they'd be sponsored by.
Mustang, girl. Not Mustang.
Girl, you know Mustang.
Not taking it back to Mustang.
So, dear listeners, this is a
This should
sign
have been on a VHS.
Mustang is still around. It's owned by Titan Men now.
No. Mustang is a Falcon company.
Is it Falcon? Oh, you're
Mustang
right.
is a Falcon company.
not
Falcon
Titan.
owns almost everything now. Falcon owns
except
Mustang.
for men.
Yeah, Falcon owns Mustang, Hot House, Colt, Raging Stallion. They own all of them.
So Raging Stallion. Just a bunch of half-naked cowboys all the time. Dear listeners, the porn is not even that interesting. Speaking of that, so dear listeners, we're going to take a little bit of a side and talk about gay porn for a hot second.
You mean my neighbors?
Are you next door support stars?
Honey, this area is littered with retired and current porn stars. Littered.
So
Littered.
I subscribed to a site that was on like a whim. Okay.
Okay.
It's
I mean, you were drunk when you subscribed.
No, not that kind of whim. I saw an article about it, and it was talking about it's a new mild kink site.
Mild kink site?
Mild kink site, not anything major. They were like focusing on people who are interested in new things, but nothing too crazy.
Extreme. Yes.
Because we don't need to see fisting all the time. So anyway,
Keep that thought for after what you say.
Okay, so I subscribed because it's like $5 a month just to see what it was like. Girl, it is the lightest kink. The kink is sneakers and high socks. That's it. There's nobody's even licking a foot or anything. It is just sneakers. Oh, and jock straps because you can't show the penises.
You can't do that. So yeah, you have to. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well,
I was like, well, this is boring. So speaking of fisting,
I just recently. So my baby bear that I was talking about earlier today.
Uh-huh.
So I met his roommate for the first time when I went to go take him his outfit that I made him for his show.
Okay.
And apparently, I didn't know this, right? It hadn't, me, I'm out of the loop. Very prominent porn star in that niche. Like one of the top in the world. And I was just like, oh, I know, we'll bottom in the world. But it was so funny because just a delightful fellow that I like, just super sweet. But yeah, it was very funny because my baby bear, he talks about him in his stand-up routine.
Okay.
Right? Because he talks about the fact that they have a bidet, and when he uses the bidet, they have to clean the bathroom because it shoots through him like a fountain.
Yeah, of course.
Good joke, right?
Yeah.
But when I went to go take the outfit, I was like sitting there and he said something. I was like, oh my God, what do you do for a living? I had forgotten already about the joke because, jokes are exaggerations.
Yeah.
Was not an exaggeration. so there was an awkward little pause there where I was just like, oh my God, wait. So this was real. Everything you said was real. And they're like, well, not the bathroom part. I was like, oh my God. So, but it was amazing because, like I said, delightful. Like when your friends or your kids are living with really cool people, it makes you just happy. So I walked away with the biggest smile because the guy was just the nicest person, but it was so funny.
Do they have 2 cans of Crisco, one for cooking and one for...
Girl, I was not there long enough to ask all those questions now.
You
Come on.
You should have.
Inquiring swines want to know. I can't believe I just said that. Oh,
that's probably the wittiest thing you've ever said.
I don't think I've ever said anything more on point.
Well, so on this line of thinking, on Oprah, a woman is very irritated. She says, men are just amateur human beings, which we are.
we are. It's very true.
And JD's like, we don't just think about sex. We also think about the ballet. And then all the other guys, ballet.
Couldn't they have just said sports? Couldn't they have just said sports?
Yeah.
Why did they have to go for the obviously slightly homophobic sort of joke? They could have just said, we also think about sports and fishing and blah, blah, blah.
Well, they were thinking of cultural things
yeah, okay.
Like art and ballet. And
they could have just said art.
Dance, modern dance. They all think about
ballet.
Modern dance.
Just the dang ballet. Now I want to go watch Chorus Line. Sorry. I love that song at the ballet.
Oh, sorry. I was doing One Singular Sensation. That's where I was going with it.
You're like the one song I know from Chorus Line.
The closing number, yeah.
I'm going to launch into it.
Girl, in our one-woman show at the very end, it's just going to be you and me with a bunch of mirrors.
Oh my gosh. We have to get some of those red sequence jackets like they wore on the SNL sketch, when I'm 50.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yes.
All right. So Julia and Mary Jo are like, you are just angry. And you can't be childish because you're grown men, so you're just covering all up with wisecracks. And then Dash goes into a tirade of how women don't like their men weak because you can't cry in front of a woman because then you aren't strong enough unless you have somebody die on you.
Well, I don't mind that Dash is an emotional man. He could be emotional with me.
So Reese is like, you don't want a man, you say you want a man who's sweet and sensitive, but you don't really want that. And Mary Jo's like, wait, hold on, you got it wrong. You're either wimps or you're jackasses. There is an in-between. And Julia's like, women have found the in-between. Why can't you? And Dash does an anti-feminist quote there that I did not write down because it bothered me.
Like I said, this episode made for the most part, very likable actors very unlikable.
And they talk about women being manipulators and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and they tried to get Bill on board.
And Bill's like, yes, I agree with him. Then Charlene says, well, you know, I meant
every little thing I said when I said you're the most handsome man and the sweetest man I ever met. I meant all those words.
And then Bill's like, never mind. And Dash is like, well, we gotta forgive him because it's mating season.
It's just one after another. It's like, guys.
And
once again, they. Yeah.
You go ahead. Then we'll go into this.
Go ahead. No, go
then
ahead.
Suzanne stands up and it's like, I just don't understand what this thing about sex is, because it's only good for 6-7 seconds, then we're done with it. Can't we just do something else?
Oh, poor Dash.
Yes. And then, like, it keeps
that just
on
means
going.
Dash is the bottom. That's all that means.
It does. It keeps on going back and forth a little bit, and I just have written down in my notes, my God, period. Like, dear listeners, this episode was so strenuous that my husband, who watches all of these episodes with me, had to stop at the first Hal Holbrook tirade and said, I cannot believe that they wrote this for this man. I cannot watch any of this. I love Hal Holbrook so much. And this is so bad.
I felt the same way because, like I said, this is like these men, for the most part, right? I know that Bill wasn't as known as like the other three, but like these men were at that time like very likable actors. Like they were considered like they weren't like Burt Reynolds, right? They were considered likable kind of guys. So having all three of them really do this it's a stretch.
So Julia's like, war, rape, killing, slavery, it all comes from men. Y'all write the laws, y'all do all of this. We don't have the power. We didn't have the power. Y'all did all of it. To which Reese says, I'll tell you something about women. They're always late. And then he wraps it around to basically say, if women are so self-actualized, they know what their problems are, so I don't even have to tell them. Ugh.
So it's a lot. It's so much. And it would be different if this episode had like a resolution. But that's not coming.
And then the men go into this thing of, we fight for you and bring you women the spoils of victory.
Gross.
Yes.
Gross. That's why we do everything. Julia, you said all this stuff about men, but we do it all for you, right? It's like a terrible, it's like, I learned it from you, Mom. I learned it from you.
And then Reese says, women may be the last thing civilized by man. Oh.
Linda was making sure that we legit don't like men. Like, legit.
So, we're now at dinner. A little Charlie Pride comes on.
Yes, Yes,
you're so bad when you're good.
Ooh.
Or you're so good when you're bad. Whichever one it is.
You're so good when you're bad.
You're so good when you're bad. Bill and Charlene just start dancing
because they're not a part of this entire thing.
Everyone else is angry. The JD and Mary Jo go up to dance. The Dash and Suzanne go, and Suzanne's just been having fun this whole time.
Suzanne just loves Dash. Like, that's the thing about this show that I absolutely think is adorable. Is like, of everything that we know about all of these characters, I never doubt for a minute that those two love each other.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's true.
I love it. Every time they're together, it's like, just get back together.
Like, he puts up with her shit, she puts up with his shit.
Yep.
And they know they have to be divorced, right?
Yep.
They know they can't be married.
They can't be married
because they can't live together, but they can love each other and enjoy time with each other.
Yep. And that
then
little
Reese
smile,
that
smile she makes when that little smile melted my heart. I was like, that is a genuine smile there.
Then Reese and Julia go dancing, and they end laughing. Do 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 do. Well, Maim.
Yep.
Did you find yourself A Miss Georgia world.
I did like so
Okay.
I'm in this particular episode.
Uh-huh.
I am gonna award the Miss Georgia world to Charlene.
Okay.
Because none of them are really wearing super fancy clothes, but when they are all in the cabin together, Mary Jo, Suzanne, and Julia are all wearing like solid color sweaters that are
Yes.
different colors. And the only one that's sticking out that is a very 80s sweater was Charlene. So I'm giving it to Charlene in her 80s sweater.
I'm going to give it to Suzanne.
Mm.
At the beginning where she's wearing the black turtleneck and black pants.
Yeah, she did look
because
good.
she showed Mary Jo from the previous episode how to wear a black turtleneck.
Why don't we wear turtlenecks anymore?
Steve Jobs.
I
mean, I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that's true. Like, did he ruin it for everybody?
It's funny because like last week I remember at the end of the episode I thought to myself like I used to wear turtlenecks when I was a kid. I used to wear turtlenecks a lot.
When's the last time you wore one?
When I was a kid, I think.
Try one on. They're very uncomfortable. Like, they're itchy. Like, I've never liked them. Like, do you like wearing collars high that are tight against your neck?
No, I guess not.
Yeah, me either. Like,
I
find
mean,
them very...
goodness gracious, though, like drag queens wouldn't be able to survive without a mock turtleneck because almost all their dance costumes have them. Technically.
Girl, when's the last time you danced?
Last time.
When's the first time you danced?
I mean, if you count rolling around on the floor for a little...
Girl, the worm, W-U-R-M, does not count.
It's W-E-R-M, girl. E-R-M.
So, girl, I've got a question for you. Did you enjoy this episode?
Not. Absolutely. And I'm going to say, and like, I'm going to give a reason why. Is because it is not just because of the bickering. It is because Linda Bloodworth Thompson made these characters unlikable, and that's very upsetting because it just felt like character assassination.
After the last episode where JD was such a nice, kind person, he turns to Ted.
Yes.
And like,
I mean, he was so sweet on that phone on the last episode. And then the next week,
it doesn't fit who they are.
No,
like
it really was. I was like, it was just like she just really wanted to do this episode, and the actors aren't going to tell her no, so they all just commit to it.
Contractually obligated to do the
right.
episode.
So they just all commit to it, and it was just like the Miles episode on Golden Palace, right? It was just like so out of the blue.
Yep.
That I was like, I don't even get it. Like, what's the purpose of all of this?
I don't know.
I don't get it. It was upsetting. I mean, I genuinely was like, at first, because I kind of remember this episode from growing up, and like when it first got started, I was like, oh yeah, this is the one where they all fight a lot. But then as it kept going, maybe because I'm older now, it's just like, good Lord, like where are these characters coming from?
So somebody online posted the very end dance is one of their favorite comedic moments between Julia and Reese. I'm like, oh. So in watching this, I was hoping that something was going to happen, but
like imagine. Imagine let's take people's love of this show completely off the table, right? Imagine if you just spent an entire long period of time, because this tracked for a long period of time, fighting tooth and nail about defending your gender on either side of the gender spectrum. Yep. And then you think one of the funniest moments ever is when you just pretend like that didn't happen and just try to make it work. That's all I got. I'm like, okay, great. They're trying to make it work.
Absolutely right. You are
like, this isn't funny.
Right.
If you've been through a relationship and you've had these types of fights, this isn't funny. It's literally like this episode could have ended with season 3 starting and all of those relationships being over.
Why is this an ending episode? Like, why is this the end of a season?
This felt like relationships were ending.
This has to be a throwaway episode. It has to be.
But they placed it in the wrong place. Like, even if they had like moved it up a couple of spots, right? Like that ending last week where Mary Jo almost goes back to X would have been an amazing season finale. You
Yes,
know,
I
like
agree.
a test of your loyalty, a test of your love. That would have been perfect. This,
Ugh. Ugh.
nay nay fluffy, nay nay.
No. My God. Ugh. Well, girl, why don't you tell our dear listeners? We managed to drag this thing on out for nearly an hour, and I am very proud of us.
I am too, girl. Well,
I
we
am
talked
very
about a lot of stuff, though.
We
talked
did.
about
We covered some things.
We did some porn stuff.
Why don't you tell our dear listeners where they can find you not being fisted?
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Dear listeners, do not Google what being fisted is.
Please don't. Please don't. This is just an inside
if you
gay
do not
thing.
know,
It's an
don't
inside
ask.
Gay thing. Yeah, it's an inside gay thing.
Real
So
inside.
oh my gosh. So jeez. So I will say this. You could find me
Okay, please say it.
your Auntie Maim.
Your favorite relation.
Sometimes your favorite relation. Maybe not today. Some of our Designing Women fans, they might not love our take on this. But you can find me on the Instagram and the Facebooks at auntie.maim. That's MAIM. You can find me on Twitter at Maim Ministry. You can find me in real life hosting a couple of shows down here in South Florida. So I host Laughs at Lit, which is a stand-up comedy show in Fort Lauderdale at a bar called Lit. And I host Amazing Colossal Karaoke, which is a karaoke/cabaret show hybrid at Kill Your Idol on Miami Beach. And every other weekend, I'm doing improv comedy at the Villain Theater in Miami. So that's my jig. I don't know what that meant. How about
your
you?
jig
Mims?
is up.
How about you?
I am the divine Miss Mims. Miss Mims. I'm the divine Miss Mims. You can find me on Twitter at divine Miss Mims. You can find this podcast on Twitter at Baking Sugar Pod. Maim, you can find our Patreon at patreon.com/Mims and Maim if you want to throw us some money. Maim, if you want to find our other podcast, we have a Murder She Wrote podcast called You Slay Me. You can find it on Twitter at You Slay Me Pod.
You Slay Me Pod.
And dear listeners, if you want to see our yet to be made one-woman show in Cherokee, North Carolina at the casino.
Two-woman show.
Two-woman show. No, we're gonna be like Muppets. We're gonna just get on top.
We'll take turns. Special guest star, Madam.
Anyway, if you want to see our two queen show, I shouldn't say woman, two queen show. Let the Cherokee Casino know that you want us to be there, or
Just call them.
Just call them up. Hey, here's Cherokee. We want to see the queens, Mims and Maim. When are they going to be there? Or, you can even call the Two Kings Casino in Catawba. I've never been there, but hell, if they'll have us once they actually build something there, we'll go. Right now, they just have a room of slot machines. We could just dance through that.
I will be happy to perform for slots.
Oh, I think that's enough. Say goodnight, Maim.
Night, Maim.
Bye, y'all.